We don't like doing it, guys, but one of the best things we can do to improve our chess is to analyze our losses. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've taken my last 10 losses when I've played in Rapid, when I've played players around the 1700 mark. I've filtered my losses by that. And so this is what happens when I play people slightly better than me. This is how I lost, and we're going to try and improve my thought process through going through these last 10 games. So, first game. They come in, sacrifice the bishop on this pawn, and I greedily take the bishop. And you know what? It's just completely losing. Because queen comes in with checks, and after a series of checks, the key move is to bring the rook in to support the queen. And my pieces are very clumsily placed. You know, this rook and bishop not doing much. This bishop looks okay, but defensively it's not doing very much at all. And the queen is absolutely awful. Look at their queen. Threatening mates. Knight covers currently, but this queen bishop battery, synergizing, open rook, you know, my position's just awful. So second game, I've picked out the key pivot points in where exactly I lost the game, guys. So here, I think out of these 10, there's 2 where I just straight up hang a piece. And that's sad to see, because I always tell myself, lose on time, don't hang a piece. And still, I'm doing it. I'm hanging pieces. A lot less than I used to. You know, I'm improving, but yeah, still hanging quite a lot of pieces. And here, I hang I hang a rook, and the queens get traded, and still I'm actually winning here. If I can find the time, and I think I've got 20 seconds on the clock, if I can find the time to work out how to push these pawns, and I should have pushed the other pawn, because if it takes, we cover the correct square. Oh, and we cover that pawn. But yeah, always in these positions, always look which square can you cover. And it's nice that we're also covering that key promotion square with the knight. Whereas this square, we're not covering with the knight. So I think that's how you decide which pawn to push. And I messed it up under time pressure there, guys. So, game number 3. Where did I lose this game? Again, this is the second time. Out of the 10, 2 out of 10, I just hang a piece. The rook. And it's just over. So next game, game number 4. Hopefully, I'm not going to hang any more pieces in this series. Oh, no, I do. This is the last one, I promise, guys. I hang a pawn, and it's just over. It's a central pawn. Without it, my whole position falls apart. You know, look at the dominance of that rook. Absolutely brutal. And then this pawn falls as well. And you know, losing 2 pawns. And the difference is here, this pawn eventually starts to just come down the board, and it's brutal. So game number 5, where did I lose it? This one absolutely infuriated me, because I took the queen, and then I saw the tactic as I like released it. I saw the tactic. Check, deflecting the king away from the defense of the queen. If takes, you get the queen for free. Absolutely brutal. And I missed this tactic. And you know what? I was annoyed at myself because I took about a second on this move, I remember. Let's we get the time up. Report. Show charts. Time. How long did I spend on this move here? You know what? I don't know how to work it out. I don't normally look at the time thing. But yeah, I'm telling you now, guys, I didn't spend enough time. So here, it seems like a little thing, but I miscounted the number of attackers on this square. 1, 2, 3. And I've got 1, 2, 3. So it's fine in terms of number of attackers. No, because I take first, so they take me. Yeah, it depends on the move order. This, they take me. I take they. Yes, I've not got enough defenders on this square, and I damage my pawn structure, and it just straight up loses the game. Look at the bar, guys. Let me just move this over. Look at this bar here. It absolutely swings wildly. Just because of the damage to the structure. And it's saying sack the rook here in order to recapture the pawn. Because it's so bad, the king being this open. And here it's saying they can just sack a rook here because, again, my open king is going to be a vulnerability. So, damaging the structure. That's the theme for that one. Here, this was surprising because often you can give away a doubled pawn. A doubled pawn is often worthless, and giving it away can often be beneficial to your position. But here, it's not the fact that, again, the bar's swinging massively in my opponent's direction here. And it's not the fact that I've given away a doubled pawn. I think it's more that I've given up the bishop. And, you know, this is coming in. It's actually saying to take the knight and then the rook. Wow. And I think at this point I'd given up. And I'm going for this checkmate. Here, here, and mate. Actually, they can block here with the rook defending. But I think that was my desperation tactic at the end, hoping they wouldn't see the queen and going for this mate. But yeah, it was just over at this point with this pawn here. Devastating. So next game, final 3 games. Where did I lose? We got, what did we do? We're surely hitting the bishop. Where did I lose it though? I lost it in the opening because I literally just miscounted. 1, 2, 3 attackers on this square, and I've only got 2. I just straight up lose a pawn in the opening, and from there, my position's okay, but, you know, they're hitting my rook. My rook is awkwardly placed. I hit their queen, they get a check. And I'm just slightly worse, but it's not awful, this game. So let's go through this. Because I still could have won this one. Hit the queen there with the bishop. And now, this is where the game is lost, guys. I've allowed their pieces to just become so beautifully active, especially these bishops. Just crushing. And I don't have a good way, maybe this, to try and trade off a bishop at some point. But I've got to start to activate my pieces, and then that's an awful move. This opens up their rook to attack the sort of potentially undefended piece. I know it's defended now, but the pawn is not defending this knight. Once this and this. Pawn is pinned, so this knight is, you know, I know it's defended twice, but it's under a lot of pressure here with this pawn being pinned. And yeah, these bishops are just too strong. You cannot allow your opponent to have that much activity. So here, they give a check. And this is a funny one, guys. This is quite hard to understand, but like for me. But this, yeah, the queen has got this this knight pinned, and the engine light's coming back with the bishop and keeping this knight a little bit more active. Just a really subtle thing of why that is. So let's actually go through the lines to try and understand this a bit more. So if knight back as I played, with best play, this is what the engine would have done. It just leads to you losing that pawn in the center. Because this knight was defending this pawn. So it's a crucial knight, and this bishop is actually better to move the bishop back. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any more depth on that, because I'm not quite understanding how this loses so much. Look at it. It just straight up loses the game. Blocking with the knight. But yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? And this one, right, this endgame. Oh, damn. I have to respect this pawn here. And I just don't. I think that I can maybe promote mine quicker. So I play a very natural move with the king coming up here, trying to promote. But actually, you've got to come back with the king. My pawns are just not quick enough. This whole idea of pushing my pawns, it's just not quick enough. Because these 2 pawns are just devastating. And the rook can always sack. Which it does. So that's hard to go through, guys. No one wants to analyze their losses, but trust me, do it now. Do it now, guys. First, like and subscribe, but then go analyze your losses. It'll help you a lot. Yeah, improving your chess. So good luck, guys. Have a good day. See you next time. Cheers.